Good afternoon to each one of you present over here. Our most esteemed Vice Chancellor is here to inaugurate this program. You are all witnessing how comfortably your accommodation is taking care and what kind of food we are preparing and giving to you. These are all happening simply because the guidance and motivation given by our esteemed Vice Chancellor. There are 66 HRDCs in this country. Now only 4 or 5 HRDCs are organizing the courses offline mode. You may not believe, for the past 3 years we couldn't get any funding from the UGC. Only because of the support of our esteemed Vice Chancellor, these programs are conducted for the benefit of the teachers. Even during the COVID, we used to organize the programs in such a way. You may not believe how this Vice Chancellor is motivating the teachers and helping whatever the way possible. Whenever we used to approach him, the vibration, the positivity shown on us is enormous. That gives motivation to us to organize this kind of activities regularly. This is the 26th program for this year is concerned. Many of the HRDCs not even conducted 10 programs because due to the scarcity of the funds. I can add on because time is precious. Very recently, he has invited Prime Minister of India for the convocation in another university. He is having the additional charge, Gandhigram Rural University. For here, every year he is bringing the Vice President of India for the convocation. Coming 28th, you are going to witness the present Vice President of India to give the convocation address. Morning he was hectically busy with the government officers, how we can organize the convocation. Even then, whatever the time, he agreed upon to come and bless us with his presence. We had a nice group photo that will appear in the next newsletter. Today we are launching our 5th volume of the newsletter, compiling all the activities done in the past 1 year. Now I am not taking much of your time. We are going to visualize in this campus for 2 weeks how meticulously things are happening. All witness is with our esteemed registrar and also our director of HRDC, and also is the Professor and Head Department of Earth Sciences of our university. This is simply a teamwork, how effectively we are organizing the programs and helping the teachers. Now we are having the teachers from Assam, Rajasthan, Karnataka, various places. We have given admission to 94 teachers. Most of them thought that this program will be happening in online, but when we announced it is offline, 34 of us, you assembled here. This shows your commitment for this kind of activities. We are not conducting the program just to issue the certificate. We know the value of the certificate. Whatever the certificate this university issues, our Vice Chancellor signs. In the same way, for the participation also, our Vice Chancellor signs with grade. That means it is having its own value and merit. That credit goes to you, and with the blessings of our esteemed Vice Chancellor and our esteemed Registrar and Director of UGC HRDC, and Professor Arvind Gupta is here. He is the Director in charge of the distance mode. They are having tuning program and what effectively they are conducting the programs in the distance education. That all you are going to witness for the coming 2 weeks. Now, may I request our esteemed Director Professor Rajesh Putani to give the presidential address, followed by our esteemed Vice Chancellor will light the Kutuvalaku in commemoration of inaugurating the course and for the launching of the newsletter. Please.
Thank you, Professor Pancharam Lingam, and good morning to all of you. I was very happy to see the list of the participants that we have in the online, offline physical program. Also, participants joining us from West Bengal, Assam, and Rajasthan, and Kerala, and Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. So that actually reflects the reputation of this HRDC, if I can boast about that, because I was part of this till I think till today I'll be there, and it's all because of the hard work of the team of HRDC, which is trying their best to make all these programs as fruitful as possible. And speaking of this particular program that we are inaugurating today, refresher course in effective teaching skill, I don't think one can kind of emphasize it any different way that it is the kind of most important aspect of being a teacher, the effective teaching skill. And someone was actually mentioning to me that how come this is a refresher course? Because refresher course is supposed to be for the experienced teacher who have already gone through the faculty induction program and all, because they are supposed to know anyway all the effective teaching skill. And I politely differed with him because I personally, my personal experience tells me that being a teacher means every day we need to reflect on our teaching skills, And I remember that when we joined this teaching profession with a lot of enthusiasm, we were so enthusiastic that we, most of the time in the beginning days, I remember we used to kind of focus more on the how impressive or how best I can deliver the content in the classroom. And slowly with experience, I realized, this is the personal experience I wanted to share with you, that it is not about myself. It is not about how effectively I can deliver the content. It is basically how best I can reach to every student of the class. So shifting to the student-centric teaching requires a lot of effort. It does not come so easy. And this effort needs to be there every day of our teaching life, no matter how experienced we become. So that was the thought process that we had when we proposed this particular refresher course, that effective teaching skills is some kind of a dynamic process that every teacher continues to be involved in. And speaking of effective teaching skill, we always remember some very inspiring, renowned personalities that we have been inspired from. I would say we are all privileged and lucky that one such personality is amidst us, our Professor Gurmeet Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor. Nobody else could be a better person to inaugurate this particular refresher course. Of course, he obliges us for all the refresher courses, but for particularly this one, which is on effective teaching skills. I think, as far as I am concerned, I have not come across anybody who could be more effective in teaching than Professor Gurmeet Singh. So I am very happy that he could spare some time. And this physical program also reminds me a very often spoken message by Professor Gurmeet Singh ji, that online programs are all fine, but the most effective programs are when we actually meet in person, eye-to-eye contact, and then we can actually transfer the ideas in better way that also help us to have mutual interaction among ourselves. So because of all his encouragement and all his support, we thought, okay, let us shift to the offline and in-person programs now once the COVID is now almost over. So with these few words, I won't take much time. We are all eagerly waiting to hear the inaugural address by Professor Gurmeet Singh ji. So I again welcome you all, and I also thank the team of HRDC. I also thank our well-wisher and supporter, Professor Arvind Gupta, Director of Distance Education, who is also participating in the inaugural program today. And with no further ado, I hand it over back to Professor Pancharam Lingam to proceed further. Thank you very much.
Well, friends, let me start appreciating Professor Rajneesh Bhutani, who has been the director here of the center, and along with that, he was also he's still the head of Earth Sciences Department, which is a very important department of our university. Big department, sizable faculty and good number of students, and good number of students who have done very well in the past. So he was the one who was heading this, and he says probably today is the last day, because I thought this order should have been issued 3-4 days back, because he's also the registrar of the university, and you can understand with one hat one can wear, the second one if you give, you can always change, but when the third one is given, you know, you have to be a juggler to do this, and that's not very easy. So that's what it is. So he's here, and Professor Panch Ramlingam, who has very ably supported whosoever was here, and in fact he's the sheet anchor. Whatever course takes place, he's the one who plans, who sorts out everything, all your logistics, he's the one who settles, and then ultimately the most important of this is the program which is chalked out, that what is to be done. And then we have a very hard-working person, Dr. Arvind Gupta, who is looking after our distance education center, which is, is not very easy these days, because people are in a dilemma whether to go in for distance mode or go in for regular mode or look up at an alternative career. So with these kind of choices available, to keep DD attractive is not a very easy proposition, which he is doing very well, let me tell you. And our Dr. Sarjana, who is the staff here in the center and has been assisting all our programs. Why I make it a point to be here, there are reasons. One of the very important reasons is that this center of arts has been doing very well. Now obviously, since it is my center in my university, I'll obviously say it is doing very well. But fact of the matter is, it is doing very well for number of reasons. One, ever since I have come here, we have never postponed a program. Never ever. Not even by a day. Even under the most difficult circumstances, we kept our schedule on. Second, we have always planned out very well that what kind of a course is to be run. Suppose if it is a course in physics, they will sit across with the coordinator and work out the schedule, the important areas which are to be lectured on, and the person who has to be invited. All that part has been decided, is always decided beforehand. If a course is on education, what are the important factors which are to be included? So this is what is very seriously done. And thirdly, the sense of discipline which is maintained here, which is kept here. In certain universities, including the one I came from, HRDC work is taken as a very light kind of a work, very easygoing work, that okay, there is a course, it starts, let's say if it's on mathematics, they will certainly at 11 o'clock ring up the professor, oh, there is a talk here, can you come and give it? And obviously one rarely says no, so one comes in and the participants are waiting, he comes half an hour late, gives a talk for about 15-20 minutes. I'll say it is not a talk in the real sense, it's whiling away time and he goes off. This is the way most of the centers are run, and I have seen, this is the experience that I had over my long career of about 38 years in academics. But here it is not done that way. We plan it out very, very meticulously, and it is followed in the real sense of the word. You will find anybody who has to lecture is always available before the lecture ends. And then there is a interaction time which is given. Then I have been insisting in every course that the coordinates of every teacher has to be given before one departs. I'll tell you the reason for that. So this is one. And after a long time, we have been having a course in physical form. This is probably the third course we are having in physical mode. So far, because of this unfortunate pandemic, which I have always been saying that let's pray that we never ever get this kind of a pandemic in our lifetime again. So this is the third course, and I will always maintain that a course of this kind is very important. One, it gives you a pilot view of what is on in your subject. Suppose if I am running a course in geography, you will be teaching in far-flung areas of our country in different colleges, and what is the latest which is happening in the subject, you probably will not know unless somebody has a personal interest in that. So you will be doing whatever is given to you, syllabus, teaching day after day in, day out, and that's about it. You teach and go away. Rarely you will be able to know what are the latest in the subject. And it is through this kind of a course that is conveyed. We invite some seasoned experts, they talk to you about the course, and that is where you come to know that these are the latest areas where probably you can think of, you can work on, you can create an interest in that. See, it's a matter of luck. I've been here and you are there. It is a chance in life. I could have been there and you could have been here. I happened to be some place which was very, very important, and I studied there, became a teacher, moved through the ladder, because I had all the facilities. I could travel abroad, interact, do good work, and you could not probably, you could have done the same thing had you been given similar kind of facilities. One would have been in a remote area of a country, and one could not have moved to a better place because of number of circumstances. Could be family, could be monetarily, could be other things, and you stuck on to that place and you became a teacher in a remote college, and that's about it. That was a disadvantage 20 years back, but now that has almost disappeared with connectivity getting into everywhere, with information available everywhere. So that disadvantage is not there. The only disadvantage is that if you're in a prominent city, probably you can walk across to a good place and see things happening for yourself. And when you're in a remote corner, of course, through Google, you're getting everything. Connectivity is all over. And because of that disadvantage is no longer there. But then it depends upon staying there, whether you are really looking into those latest or not. That is important. So if you are keen, obviously you will know. Otherwise, you will be one of those routine teachers who would come, give lectures and go away. Right? There's nothing wrong in that. You should be a routine teacher, but then you should be a better routine teacher. Majority of the teachers that we have in schools, they do very well. The reason is that they are trained to be that way. They do B.Ed before they actually become teachers, and in B.Ed, the pedagogy is conveyed. If you have to write, what letter should be there? If the writing has to be there, what way it should be written? How should it be visible to everybody? What kind of a size you should write? How loud your voice should be? What way you should convey? What way you should give lessons? What way you should check? All those things are conveyed in B.Ed classes. But once you finish your master's and you go in for college teaching, university teaching, you move into research career, and somewhere during that span of your research, you get into teaching, either in a college or in a university, depending on your luck, wherever you are. And nobody tells you how to speak, how loud your voice should be. Nobody tells you that it should be audible to the last bench. I have seen in my own career some teachers whose voice we could barely hear on the third row. Their voice was not heard at all beyond third row. So we would struggle to be in the front rows, but seats are limited. And I, for example, if you take my own case, I have never been a front bencher. I have always been a back bencher. I used to attending classes on the very last row probably, but I could never get the last row. I'll get last one or one, two. There are reasons. One, when you're sitting in the class and you are at the last row, your eyes are on the blackboard. You don't have to struggle like this, or you don't have to struggle like this. And then your eye level is with the teacher. When he's moving, your eyes are also moving along with that. So your focus, even if you don't wish to be, will be on what is being conveyed. When somebody is writing, you don't have to strain yourself. So you are able to write along with that. So these are some of the advantages of being a backbencher. Then in a lighter vein, as for my habit, if you allow me, if you're sitting at the back and you want to be a little naughty, you can afford to do it. When you're in the front row, you can't afford to be turning this way and doing it. Or in other words, if you want to sprinkle curses on your friends, From back you can always do it, right? From front you can't do it. Okay? So these are the advantages of a backbencher. You want to fly an aircraft, sitting there you can do it, it'll fly all over, maybe come to teacher, but from front you can't do it. You can't pinpointedly do it. So there are a lot of advantages when you're there, and sitting there makes you a far more brilliant fellow than what others are, because your focus is 20 times more than what front bencher will be there. Then other side, if you are, like I have a bad habit of reading too much, whatever comes my way, I try to go through quickly. If not seriously, I scan through. So if you are in that habit, obviously you will be reading a lot, and when you come for the class, at times, on occasions, you will find you are very tired. So front row you can't afford to sleep. But back row, if you are there, you can even doze off in between. If you find that the teacher is very, very slow, not teaching properly or not being conveyed, you are not finding it interesting. So you can pose to be very serious, but in the actual case, you can be sleeping. So these are some of the things which one learns when you have talked about teaching skills. Now this is, when you come to college teaching, nobody tells you, but in B.Ed level you are conveyed. Here we improve on our own selves, in our own way. That I have seen teachers in my life where they will write on the blackboard in such small letters that probably I needed a magnifying glass to read what is being written. But if you have read whatever is being spoken, you can always jot it down. So teaching skills is something that needs to be conveyed, that needs to be discussed, that needs to be taught at college level also. And this is best done when there are HRD centers and when they are developing, they are conducting a course like this. Contents, of course, obviously comes in. If I am teaching mathematics, obviously there will be contents. I will not be teaching irrelevance there. One can teach irrelevance for 5-10 minutes. You can't be doing it 90% of the time. So therefore, contents comes in. How to present those contents is important, and that is what you would have probably learned from here. And when we talk about teaching skills, we also tell you about some of the other important facets of academics. For example, you are in a master's degree or undergraduation, or you are in a university. What are the ordinances? What are the acts? What is NEP? These are the things which in a remote part, if you are interested ourselves, we will try to do it, but if you are not, then probably you will never hear. But when this is being, a course like this is being conducted, you will find that this will always be there, and you will come to know what latest things are there. In NEP, what is there, what skill development courses are being talked about, what is to be done in your own college, how best the standard can be improved, how could we include the latest teaching skills by using OHPs or PowerPoint presentations or through other skills. If the voice is not audible, what aids to be used in the class. All those are very important factors which unfortunately in our country they are not being paid due attention to. And if that is done, it will become more interesting, and the teachers themselves will know and they will be able to convey it better to the students. How is it that one teacher who teaches, you get about 80% of that, retain 80%, and the other teacher who is teaching, you don't even retain 20%? That is because of the factors I mentioned: audibility, presentation, writing skills, all those things. And these are the things which are all improvable. It is not that they are beyond you. I'll give you another example. If there's a teacher who is teaching at the same pace, he starts, if you have heard some religious discourses, they start something and then they have a habit of repeating also, but at the same pace, I will not say, Father, Panditji, Gyaniji, whosoever is there, same pace they will talk about and you will feel sleepy. And if there is in one of the channels I remember, one of the preachers of a particular religion, used to come, very young fellow, and he would speak with such an enthusiasm, Once it will be very loud and immediately he'll slow down. So when you listen to him, you can never think of sleeping. I'll give you an example which will strengthen whatever I've said. You get into the bus, right? We are all very alert. Well, we are traveling to Coimbatore, very good bus, this, that. And once the bus starts, though you are talking to your neighbor, that where are you going, what do you do, this, that, today's news, for 2, 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes you'll discuss. After that, the bus moves. And have you ever seen the first 4th minute, 3, 4, 5 minutes, when the bus is in the process of moving to a highway, he'll change gear, he'll apply brakes, he'll horn, this, that. So when that is happening, your body is moving. If there's a brake, you move up like this. And you're talking, suddenly there's a brake, then you break off that talk also. Once it is on the highway and he puts it in the running gear, even if your neighbor wants to talk to you, in your heart you'll say, shut up, let me relax. So after a while, in a minute or so, the conversation will die down. And after that, this bus will move at a constant speed. No change in the voice, no horn, no change in the gear. So you would notice, because of the same consistency, you will find that 80% of the bus passengers will be, somebody will be neck will be on right, somebody will be on the right, left, forward, backward. But when you look at it, other than driver, everybody else is sleeping. Am I right? That's why the right on the first 3 seats, sleeping is not permitted. That is what happens if a teacher is teaching at a constant pace, without moving. If I stand and start teaching, you will all go to sleep. But suppose I am moving from this corner to that corner, sometimes I am raising my voice, changing my expressions, writing something, you will be with me and you will never be able to sleep. Same thing you notice in train. It starts at a different pace, sound is different. Once it comes in the running train, running speed, then the rhythm is very similar, soothing. Tuck, 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 tuck. Continuously same sound will be there. You'll all go to sleep. Same problem you face when there is a fan under which you are sitting, and if that fan is making a sound, rhythmically tuck, tuck, tuck. If it says tuck, 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 you will never sleep. But that rhythm at the same pace will put you to sleep. This is a part of the teaching skill. In aircraft, same thing happens. When it takes off, you're always alert. Air hostess also tells you, fasten your belt, this, that. Once it takes off and it is unless there is a turbulence, you will find 70-80% of the passengers are somewhere else. They are not in wherever they are. They are dreaming. And this is because of the monotony in the system. That monotony is uniform thing. That is what you find in teaching also. When you are taking a class, make sure that you change your volume, style, level, okay, and move from one side to another, writing somewhere here, somewhere there. But don't ever do that. You start from the north and by the time you finish your sentence, you come down to south. Okay, so these are part which somebody has to tell. These parts, unless it is conveyed, you will never learn. On your own, you will never think of this. And that's what it is. So I mean, we have been doing it that way. And these days, of course, things have become very simple. And this is the factor responsible for some people losing interest in teaching, in learning, in listening. Because previously we used to speak. I will have a chalk and I'll start writing. Now there is a thing called PowerPoint presentation, PPT. They will put pen drive. It comes on the screen and then teacher stands in one corner. I'm going to talk about first law of thermodynamics, and he starts reading. And when he reads, you will say, what the hell is this? Why should I do this? So you'll tell your teacher at the end, sir, give me that. This is my pen drive. Can I copy yours? So I saw a cartoon sometimes back that some teacher was having absolute monotonous voice. He would come and give a class. People would tend to, not become very interested. So people thought, why should we attend? We can then we can put our tape recorder and record. So he would start speaking, and people will have a tape recorder, 1 or 2, 3 students. Then everybody thought, why should we be attending? They are recording, we'll take it from them. So they also started putting their tape recorder. Then a stage came when a teacher said, why should I speak? Go to the class. I'll send my tape recorder, tell Professor Pancharamalingam that participants are there, put this on. So he will put this on, and a stage came when there was one tape recorder on this side and 40 tape recorders on the other side. Everybody recording. That has gone now. You can't even physically see these tape recorders. Now it is that a teacher teaches and you'll say, sir, email me, this is my email. So then there is a group they make. Previously, if I had to email it to 40, it takes time. Now they have a group, HRDC teaching skills group. So that group is there of 40. Bhutani sir will give a talk, he will say, click, it goes to 40 students. Why should I? We can afford to sleep. That is unfortunately happening now, started to happen, but that is arrested if there are courses like this, where teaching skills are imparted. And let me tell you, the most important benefit of such courses is that it gives you the latest which is on in your subject, which otherwise you will not know. Secondly, when you meet here physically, you listen to one another during your tea time, break time, after the class, that what is it that you are doing, what kind of a library you have, what books you have, how do you issue books, how do you return. The practices which are followed from one institution to another, you can come to know here. And during that, you will know what are the best practices you are following, what is it that we are not following, what is it that we can do. So there is an improvement by this kind of an interaction, which elsewhere you will not find, otherwise it is very difficult to do. That is why I insist that you should always have the coordinates of everybody, give it to them, that in case subsequently they want to get in touch with somebody, they should be able to do it. Am I right? That I didn't understand, please explain that to me. And that is the biggest advantage here. During this you come to know, okay, I was in Germany doing this. Oh, how did you go there? Because of this. What is that system? You didn't know, this is that. Such things will come to you. In short, the best practices which are followed in one institution, you can know from other sources, other classmates, other participants, and that is possible when you have a course like this. And you are some of the fortunate ones that you have come here in Pondicherry University. There are many HRD courses, you apply, you don't get it. Here also many would have applied and everybody would not have got it. So those who have got it, they are the lucky ones because it is a paid holiday for you. Leave is given, everything is given, travel is given, and here we provide you the accommodation and you stay here in the best of the atmosphere. If somebody who has come from Delhi, Calcutta or elsewhere, cities like this, it is a hell there. Worst pollution, worst water, bad traffic, nothing good is there. Okay, and here when you come here in this serene atmosphere, there is all kinds of positivity, spiritualism, positivism. The campus is so good that you feel as if you are in heavens. And then the kind of land we are in, you know about it. So that chance you don't get it elsewhere. Those who have come here, they are one of the lucky few that you got a chance to come here and attended this course. You will find when you go back, I don't know where all you have come, they are from far-flung areas.
Yes, Assam.
So you will find when you go back, you will realize how good was this place and what a rejuvenating place it was. We were so energetic when we were there. And the moment, if I go back to Delhi, for example, I feel so dull, so tired, so tense that one feels like going back to this place. And that opportunity, you have got it. I don't know whether, if you encash on this during, it's 2 weeks. So during the next 2 weeks, if you attend to this properly, you will find how good a person you will be as compared to when you started the course. You will feel so enriched, so positive, that you will get a lot more in your life which is on your way, which is coming your way, and you will be able to make best use of this. That is what it is, isn't it? So enjoy yourself, that is what I'll say. And stress is another thing which mars your performance, because when you're stress-free, even if you have very little, you will be able to do so well in your class that the students would remember. But if you're under stress, even if you have prepared so well, you will find it will go haywire and you would not appreciate what you wanted to be conveying. And that's about it. All the very best. And I was reading something about stress 2 days back. It was a long article. What is stress? How one develops? How can one get away with this? There were all kinds of remedial measures. There was 7-8 pages I read on stress. And finally he said, after I finished that talk, the last paragraph was, are you stressed after reading this? Don't worry about it. This is something which will come your way and go from here. Take it light, take it easy, but use your time properly. Then stress will not figure in. If you have planned that I'm going to do this, you will find you will be able to do something in 2 minutes, others will be doing in 20 minutes because of that negativity and diffuse kind of a mindset that they have. So on stress then finally concluded, stress has different levels. So one teacher was going on a scooter and some very beautiful lady asked for a lift, and he, as teachers are helpful people, so he stopped, he said, can you drop me in your Kalapet? And he said, yes, please come, sit down. And they started moving towards Kalapet, and on the way there was an accident. The scooter slipped and they toppled and both of them had fallen. Then immediately that girl, lady fainted, and immediately people rang up and ambulance came. Our place here is very good for medical health. So immediately an ambulance came and they were taken to the primary care center. And then the nurse comes running to that person because he was insensitive, the lady was not insensitive. After that, he comes and says, what is your guess?
Must be his wife.
No, wife I have not said. I said one lady was asking for a lift. Had she been his wife, he would have said, what the hell are you doing here? So that was some smart lady, and he gave lift, decided to give lift. And then this happens, and then the staff comes, sir, congratulations, you are becoming a father. So that was a stress point. He says, what is this? How can I be? I have nothing to do with this lady. So he told, look, I am not the one, I am not the husband, I have nothing to do with this lady. He said, no, but you are becoming a father. Congratulations, and this and that. And he repeated, he said, I am repeating, you call police, do medical test, I have no relation, so I cannot be the father. But then that lady says, he is the father. He is the person. So your stress increases. How is it that I have nothing to do? And then the level of stress goes up. And then that lady says, no, he is the man, catch him. I don't know what was there. So then police comes, medical team comes, they do the testing. And then they say, sir, that lady is expecting, but you have nothing to do with this. DNA says that, yes. So you are relieved, but then the stress is, the second part of the report was, she is pregnant, but you have nothing to do with this, and you will never become a father. Don't worry. So that added, multiplied the stress. How come I will never become a father? I never knew about it. So that multiplied to such an extent that he was about to faint. Then he suddenly remembered, I have 2 kids at home. So then the stress further multiplied. How come all this is there? So the stress has different stations, different stages. It's a way you look at it. So never allow any stress to come near you. If that be so, you'll be a wonderful human being. You'll enjoy your life, you'll enjoy your career wherever you are. And the golden principle that I have adopted all through my life. We have gone through many stresses, let me tell you. I don't have time to tell you, but then if you just keep this in mind, that if you start enjoying your profession, you will do very well. and there is no question of any stress coming near you. Okay? Be it your spouse. No problems will be there. So you will enjoy, start enjoying your career, and your career is teaching, research, reading, conveying it to the students, improving the society. All this you will be able to do so smilingly, so conveniently, so convincingly that you will never ever have any problem. So with these all words,
So then as teachers, we should be selectively helpful. Right?
you should be helpful. No, selectively,
From that anecdote.
it came, that's it. No question of selectively. You should be helpful. We have been doing it, we have got into problems, but that doesn't mean that we will not be helpful. Selectively, you cannot be. If I take the same anecdote, why did I help? What is it? If I put these questions, you will say, well, the lady was very smart, probably one of the reasons. Or maybe the fellow was not getting along with his spouse better, so he thought, let me discuss something. There could be many reasons. Or the wife would have been so smart that he would have thought, well, let me see how the other lot would imagine myself to be, or whatever, There are many if and buts, many things can be drawn out of it. As a psychologist, I'm not getting into that, but one liner I'm giving you, whatever you're doing, start enjoying that. If that is what you keep in mind, start enjoying what you're doing with the judicious use of time, then sky will not be the limit for you for anything. Right? Some of our friends are very tired, they are feeling sleepy, but then that sleep also you will enjoy if you have heard me very carefully. That's it. All the very best and enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring inaugural address. Now this is the time to listen to the vote of thanks proposed by our Dr. Suranjana, Assistant Professor of HRDC.
Very good afternoon to one and all. Respected dignitaries on dais, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University, Professor Gurmeet Singh sir, respected Registrar and Director of UGC HRDC, Professor Rajnish Bhutani sir, Course Coordinator Professor Pancharamalingan sir, Dr. Arvind Gupta, Director, Directorate of Distance Education, and dear faculty participants. As we come to the end of this inaugural session, I would like to express it is my pleasure and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of UGC HRDC. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed Vice Chancellor Professor Gurmeet Singh sir for his gracious presence and unstinting support to conduct the courses at UGC HRDC throughout the year. And I am also thankful for you, sir, for releasing this newsletter. Thank you so much for your valuable thoughts, sir. I would further extend my thanks profusely to our Registrar and Director, Professor Rajnish Bhutani, sir. Your deliberations truly enriched our program, sir. Thank you so much.